Project 17, Part 2, Hue Chroma Triangle Part 2. Picking up where we left off, we now have one layer of the Hue Chroma Triangle done. What we need to do is to complete all of the tints and shades in order to make it look like this. This demo will show you the necessary steps to do this. We're going to start with the tints, which means we'll be moving up the grayscale on the Hue Chroma Triangle and using the grays from there to establish grays for the grayscale to hue file. So we will need to open a new layer. First, we will need to select the next gray up the 10-step color band on the left of the Hue Chroma Triangle. This will be a tint. We are going to take this into our grayscale to hue file. Once inside the grayscale to hue file, you will want to create a new layer to place this tint into and name it New Gradient. First, however, you will open the gradient editor and place the lighter gray at the extreme left end of the gradient editor. And using your gradient editor and color picker, you will place the original hue at the extreme right end of the gradient editor, like this. Now, repeating what we did in the last example, drag from left to right and create a new gradient layer, which looks like this. And you can tell that it is lighter if you compare it to the first one. Notice how much darker the original was? Now we will need to do all of the color blending necessary to make the tint band work on the Hue Chroma Triangle. We will start by getting rid of the pure hue because we already have that on the first band, so we will select the pure hue and delete it. We'll move through each of the ruled areas and sample and blend the colors just like we did on the first band. When we get to the end of the gray at the far left side, we will select and delete it because we already have it on the Hue Chroma Triangle. Now we will select all of the colors in this band using the marquee tool. We will copy it, Command C, go back into the Hue Chroma Triangle and do Edit Paste or Command V. It will come in something like this, and of course we know where it goes. Right above the previous layer, so name it Layer Value 7, Tint. This will be the first tint above the pure hue band, which is 06 or 6. Now repeat this process for gray value 8 and 9 to get the tints, and for the gray values 5 through 2 to get the shades, and you should have something that looks like this. However, you will need to turn off your rule lines and do some tweaking, as you will notice that some of the color bands do not align and there may need to be some cleaning up, like the little strip of color at the end of value 7. These things are hard to see with the rule lines on. So pull all of the rule lines out of the way at the end and do some final cleanup. When you're finished, it should look something like this. As I mentioned at the beginning, everyone will be assigned a different color. Some of your colors will range higher on the gray scale than this red, and some will be lower due to the darkness of the hue. Some of you may be asked to do more than one color. There are never enough people in the class to do all 24 colors. When we get all of these done, we will review them in front of the entire class, and everyone will have a vote as to whether they think that example is passable or not. Remember, everyone will be using each other's files, so everyone has a say in how the final version looks. You will be using these in your notebooks for this class, and they will be a permanent part of your portfolio. You will be basing your finals off of these examples, so everyone has to approve. Now, on to the instructions for the final project.